A wonderful afternoon to you. Welcome to Midday News on Ogun State Television. I am Olayemi Takuro. The Ogun State government has dismissed as false and unfounded reports circulating on social media and other platforms alleging that Fulani herdsmen, Boko Haram insurgents and other terrorist groups are planning to invade the state. In a statement issued by the Special Advisor on Media and Strategy to Governor Dapo Abiodun, Honorable Kayode Akimade, the government said available security intelligence reports from relevant agencies indicate that Ogun State remains safe and secure. The government urged residents not to be distracted by misinformation designed to create panic and fear among the populace, stressing that there is no truth in claims of an impending security threat within the state. According to the statement, security agencies across Ogun State have remained vigilant, while adequate measures have been put in place to prevent any attempt by criminal elements to undermine public peace and order. He added that some individuals appear to be exploiting security challenges being experienced in other parts of the country to create unnecessary fear among Ogun residents. Akimade disclosed that security agencies have already apprehended some individuals linked to circulation of the false reports and misinformation on social media. He noted that those arrested are being prosecuted in accordance with the law, adding that the action is intended to serve as a deterrent to others who may seek to spread falsehoods, incite panic, or create chaos within the state. The statement emphasized that Ogun State continues to enjoy strong collaboration among security agencies, local authorities, traditional institutions, and community stakeholders. This synergy, it's noted, has significantly enhanced intelligence gathering, rapid response capacity, and overall coordination in maintaining peace across the state. As part of its proactive measures to further ensure security of lives and learners and other staff in school premises, the Ogun State Ministry of Education, Science and Technology has ordered the installation of CCTV cameras, station ambulances within paramedic officer and clear bushes around schools affected by the gas leakage. Speaking during the on-spot assessments to the schools to ensure the directive is successfully carried out, the commissioner in the ministry, Professor Abayomi Aribabu, noted that air analyzers was also installed, closely being monitored by the environmental officers to measure the quality of air in school atmosphere. Commissioner Aribabu explained that the bushes were cleared to dislodge the criminals from their alleged hideout, and the CCTV is adequately monitor illegal movements within the compound of the school to guard against further threats of students' lives. Professor Aribabu commended the Environment and Health Ministries in the state for their quick responses to the emergency during the unpleasant incident, reiterating that the government of Prince Dapo Abiodun will continue to do its best for the safety and lives and properties of the citizens.
Another measure is to ensure that we have security surveillance in all our schools, because this thing must also have security implication. We also said that ambulances should be stationed in some of the schools and then in some strategic positions in the town, so that emergency response time is very short. We also have paramedics in all these schools, and as well we have environmental health officers, and we have local government health officers also. So as well as office also have some people representing the Ministry of Education.
Development, the Commissioner for Education, Science and Technology, Professor Abayomi Aribabu, received donations of up to 560 furnitures from the 82-87 set of Ijebu-Ode Grammar School, led by Victor Amuwo, to support the government in its aim towards enhancing quality teaching for learning for the students. Professor Aribabu said the present administration in Ogun State will forever be grateful with the Old Students Associations of all schools, because they are the only group that gives back to school without expecting anything in return. The Ogun State government has attributed the recent wash-off of a section of the car wash More Junction Road in Abeokuta to indiscriminate dumping of refuse in drainage channels by residents, warning that such practices pose serious threats to public infrastructure and community safety. The government said preliminary findings reveal that waste materials dumped into drains obstructed the free flow of storm water during a recent heavy rainfall, leading to a build-up of water pressure that eventually undermines the affected section of the road. In a statement signed by Vice Special Advisor to the Governor on Information and Strategy, Honorable Kayode Akimade, government dismisses suggestions that the incident resulted from poor construction, use of substandard materials. According to the statement, the drainage infrastructure attached to the road was properly designed to accommodate some water runoff, but the accumulation of refuse created artificial blockages that prevented water from flowing freely. The statement notes that all materials used for the construction of the road underwent rigorous quality tests and met and in some cases exceeded the required engineering standards. It added that the contractor handling the project is a reputable construction firm with many years of experience and a proven record of delivering quality infrastructure projects. The statement further discloses that the contractor, alongside engineers from the Ogun State Ministry of Works, is currently on site carrying out a comprehensive assessment of the damage. It notes that following the evacuation, immediate remedial works would commence to restore the affected section of the road and ensure safety and convenience of road users. As part of efforts to mitigate the impact of flooding during the rainy season, the Ogun State Emergency Management Agency, OSEMA, has intensified public sensitization on flood prevention and disaster preparedness in vulnerable communities across the state. The exercise held under the National Disaster Preparedness and Response Campaign took officials to markets and communities in Abeokuta to educate residents on safety measures before and during flooding. Olaide Oloyesoluwadi reports.
The Ogun State Emergency Management Agency, in collaboration with the National Emergency Management Agency, takes its flood preparedness campaign to communities considered vulnerable to flooding. Before embarking on the outreach, officials pay a courtesy visit to the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Special Duties and Intergovernmental Affairs, Fumilayo Shoyoyebeka, who stresses the importance of public cooperation in preventing flood-related disasters.
We don't want to lose any life. We don't want anybody to lose their properties, and that is one of the reasons why we have to support NEMA. And I want to implore you too, that whenever we beckon on you, please come to our aid. Disaster will not notify you. So immediately we are experiencing any disaster in any part of the state and we are calling on you, please respond to our needs timely.
The team later moved to Danda and Amelasho market, where traders, transport operators and residents are educated on measures to reduce flood risk during the rainy season. Participants are advised against dumping refuse in drainage channels and waterways, and encouraged to maintain a clean environment at all times.
What we have done today is we have told them the practical ways of doing what to do. So it's not left for them to assist the government in doing the right thing at the right time, so that if it eventually happens, the impact will not be much as what we don't really expect.
What we are interested in is to curtail flood disaster in Ogun State. We can't hold it. Disaster will happen. We have to manage it is what we are looking for.
Residents are also urged to pay attention to weather forecasts, heed early warning alerts, and identify safe evacuation routes in case of emergencies.
Generally, it's been a great one, and we hope that this information that the people are receiving will be put to good use, and they would have reduced disaster in Ogun State.
Some traders and residents commend the initiative and pledge to adopt the safety measures highlighted during the campaign.
We will try to find one day that we can keep it for Environment Day. Everybody to make sure say they clean well.
Officials say the sensitization exercise will continue in other flood-prone communities as efforts intensify to reduce the impact of flooding and protect lives and property across the state. Olaide Oloye Sholwadi, OGTV News.
In another news, the federal government says the number of repeat offenders within the Nigerian Correctional Service has dropped significantly from 11,616 in 2023 to 1,382 in 2025, attributing the development to ongoing rehabilitation and reformation programs. Minister of Interior Dr. Olubunmi Tunji-Ojo disclosed this during the presentation of an investigative report on the NCOS, describing the trend as evidence that reforms in the correctional system were yielding results. He added that the government could not declare success until the figure was reduced to zero. For us, not until recidivism gets to zero can we say we have succeeded, Tunji-Ojo said. The Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Committee has approved a special compensation package for eligible Band A electricity customers affected by poor power supply arising from generation constraints on the national grid between February and March 2026. In a public notice issued on its social media handles, the Commission said the directive was introduced following significant generation shortfalls across the Nigerian electricity supply industry, which prevented electricity distribution companies from delivering the minimum service levels guaranteed to some Band A customers in the first quarter of the year. NERC stated that it has issued Directive NERC 2026-002 on the special compensation of Band A customers arising from grid regeneration constraints to address the situation. According to the Commission, the directive was introduced in recognition of the significant generation shortfalls experienced across the Nigerian electricity supply industry between February and March 2026, which affected the ability of distribution companies to meet the committed service levels for some Band A customers. Government forces and opposition fighters have exchanged heavy gunfire in Somalia's capital, Mogadishu, as the row over delays to elections has escalated. President Hassan Sheikh Mohammed's term in office ended on the 15th of May but was extended by a year. The opposition said this was unconstitutional and called for protest. Gunfire was reported in several neighborhoods of the capital and persisted throughout the night, according to accounts by residents. Police said they were conducting a large-scale security operation against heavily armed militias who launched mortar attacks in some areas. And moving on to sports, fans at the World Cup will not be allowed to carry reusable water bottles into venues due to safety concerns, FIFA says after last-minute change to its stadium code of conduct. As recently as last month, FIFA had permitted empty, transparent, reusable plastic bottles up to 1 liter inside stadiums, but it said today that the updated code, which came into effect from Tuesday, prohibits them. Other items such as bottles, cups, jars, and cans are also banned to prevent the risk of injury if thrown at players or fans. The move has raised concerns among supporters about coping with heat, as temperatures at some venues are expected to range between 26 and 28 degrees Celsius. Access to drinking water inside the stadium is also a concern. FIFA said measures such as hydration stations would be in place to help attendees deal with the conditions. And just before we end the news, in the words of Marilyn Monroe, says, if you don't like something, change it. If you can't change it, change your attitude. Don't complain. That ends Mid Day News, and thanks for watching. Stay with us.